stay fly.
What's good, everybody? It is your favorite host, Adrian Nyce. We back at it again with another episode of Mouthin. Now, right now, we are in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the world famous Audio Box Studios. I am here with. Who am I here with?
Qjac Apparel Company.
Qjac Apparel Company in the building. Yes, Audio Box. Have you heard of Audio Box before?
I haven't. I looked it up for the directions of getting here. Then I looked it up on Instagram. I saw it had to do with the baby.
Yeah, you know, they had a couple people come through, you know what I'm saying? No, they definitely been like, I would say this is probably like the first, like, very well aesthetically pleasing recording studio in like the Charlotte area for sure. So a lot of people have come through just because like they are the first, and you know, people be coming through here, et cetera, et cetera. So let's talk about you real quick. Let's start off. Who are you in a nutshell?
My name is Quentin Jackson. I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I went to Winston-Salem State and Norfolk State. I went to Winston-Salem State and Norfolk State University. Pretty simple person, man. I got 2 daughters. I be chilling. I be doing my business all the time.
Yeah.
Qjac Apparel Company. And looking into it. But that's pretty much me. I'm pretty simple. I don't do too much. I stay out the way. Because being in the way gets you a lot of trouble.
Facts.
I'm out the way. I just handle my business, to be honest with you.
You could be the richest man in the world. Nobody ever know who you are with.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Yes.
That's a fact, man. Where you from?
Winston-Salem.
Born and raised?
Born and raised, Winston-Salem.
And so you still live there till this day?
Yes.
Nice. What do you like about Winston-Salem? What's the best thing about Winston-Salem?
I like the toughness of Winston-Salem.
Okay.
I think people from Winston have a more go-getter type of mentality. And
why do you think that is?
Maybe because I'm from there. So I'm saying it because I'm not. So I will of course say it because I'm from there. But I just feel like we all came from the same, the same middle schools, the same elementary schools, and it's tough living in Winston. Like, and I didn't understand that until I started going to places outside of Winston. I was like, this place is different. Like when I come home, because I tell people all the time, we used to think going to Greensboro was out of town. Like we used to think we was so far away, like Celebration Station.
Same way.
We was out of town. It was a whole different world. And then we went back like, oh, gotta go back here. Now I probably make that trip 30 times in a week. It's just like 15, 20 minutes away.
Right
but we felt like it was so far. So going outside has just allowed me, really appreciate inside. But that's always the case.
Have you ever thought about like moving, or is Winston definitely going to be like base camp?
I probably definitely will relocate to
reason
bigger. Probably reason would be bigger market.
For sure, man.
That'll probably be the biggest reason, because at the end of the day, even though you don't want to, there's certain steps and certain things you have to go. And one thing that I always say is, if you think in terms of sports, in high school, you got to be all county before you all city, before you all state, before you national. So with certain steps, you're just not gonna pass. Nobody's never been all state that wasn't all of them things.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like you have to take care of in-house first. And then if you're good enough, you will trickle out, and then you would make it better. And then because you got a lot of rappers that try to go to Atlanta.
Thank you. I was just about to say, like, a lot of my interviews, I talk to them and I tell them, and a lot of my meetings, they be like, yo, I'm trying to take over the world.
Yep.
I'm trying to take over Cali, all this type of stuff. I'm like, bro, we got to conquer the city first.
We got to take over Monroe.
Yeah, where you from? Nobody know you here. Like, come on now.
You're right.
So you definitely right about that, bro.
You're right. And I tell them the same thing. Like, you got to, I don't know why people think if you go somewhere bigger, matter of fact, it's going to be that much harder. Because even me coming from Winston-Salem, and exploring out to Charlotte and Raleigh, you got people here that's already doing it.
Exactly.
So now I got to convince people that already got that foundation here
Exactly.
why they should rock with me.
Like starting with your own town, your own city, or some places close by, I kind of look at it like it's you're testing what works, you're testing what doesn't work. So then when you do go to Atlanta or something like that, then you rinse and repeat. Because I take the same approach with my platform. Like
I see that.
I need to make sure throughout the Carolinas, we need to touch everybody. And then I done went to Cali and I done went to Atlanta, but just like we had to do it here first.
You gotta do it there first. Yeah, that's your foundation. Because your foundation, like the bottom of that house. As long as that bottom of that house sturdy, if Atlanta ain't rocking with you no more, you always can go home.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the mentality I approach. And to be honest with you, with my brand, I kind of look at how like rappers, because we're in auto box right now. So I look at how rappers kind of move, and I looked at, okay, let's take a Meek Mills. He had Philly first.
Yeah.
Then he expanded out. So at some point you're gonna have to expand out. He couldn't be who he was right now if he was just Philly. But he's Philly. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Always.
He's attached. He didn't move to Miami and say I'm from Miami.
Exactly.
So it's like you gotta have that foundation. And people, my opinion, people respect that.
For sure.
When you're just not saying I'm from, because a lot of people say they're from Atlanta. Not.
Definitely not. Okay, so Qjac Apparel Company.
Yes.
My last name's Jackson too.
For real?
Yes. We might be kin somewhere down the line or something like that.
Hey, you never know.
What made you come up? I mean, what made you, choose that name instead of choosing your name instead of some elaborate Italian
name?
That's
a really good question too. Well, at first I was mainly doing HBCU. So I was mainly a HBCU brand.
Okay.
I
see some of the things on the hats. You can bring them over too, like in a little bit. Yeah.
Right now, I currently have license for Winston-Salem State, North Carolina A&T, Johnson C. Smith, a lot of HBCUs, and that was the foundation of the brand. What happened was the first name was 105 HBCU. Then the second name, I'm sorry, the first name was 105 Clothing. Second name was 105 HBCU, and I had got that trademark. I had to change the name because I couldn't get 105 Clothing trademark.
It was already taken?
Levi Strauss 501 Jeans. Yep. They sent me right when I was about to get approved. They sent me the letter, and they said they was gonna come after me if I get 105 Clothing trademark because it's so close to 501. Facts. But really, it's not. And what my lawyer explained was, they got the money to keep it going.
For sure.
So they're gonna just burn you out anyway in lawyer fees and fighting for a name.
How did you get the license to work with these colleges?
The schools actually go through a licensing agency. So it's just a matter of putting the application in.
So anybody can print make clothing with as long as they're approved.
As long as you're approved. It's a hard process that a lot of people don't go through. But I did it so early. Out of ignorance, though, like not knowing, right? And I'm like, this is what you're supposed to do. But turned out that was the best thing I ever did, was getting it, because now it's just adding and subtracting schools.
For sure.
Because they got, I'm looking at next year, I'm getting NC State. I'm going to go bigger than the HBCUs. But that was another reason to get back to your question. But I changed the name to 105 HBCU. The thing was, when you're dealing with the universities, your creativity level is dumbed down because they're not approving everything. I had a lot of designs that haven't been approved, that did not, they got denied. Too. Right. Because I looked at it like, you want me to make what everybody else making, it's hard to sell. So I want something different. I want to put the eagle over here and the Aggie over here. They like, nah, you can't do that. So I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like being told I can't do something. As an entrepreneur, they don't like that. Exactly. So I'm like, okay. So what I did, I came to a thought, like, I'm going to have two brands. I'm going to have the collegiate side, and I'm going to have the Qjac brand side. Well, if my name is 105 HBCU, I got to get that HBCU out my name because I'm always going to be attached to it. Exactly. I can't have HBCU in the label, and I'm at NC State.
Facts.
So I said, okay, what's a good name to do? And then I was like, Qjac. Qjac is my name. It's Q Quentin Jackson Apparel Company. So it's Qjac. So I was like, I like it. It's cool. My man did the logo out of Charlotte. I was like, okay, I like it. Well, I never 100% loved it, but I liked it because it was me. And and I think sometimes when it's us, like if it was an Italian name, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good name right there. But I'm like, I'm gonna see how I do. But then it actually started getting some traction.
But
people actually want it.
Your name is actually, it took me some time to kind of realize this, but your name is actually like one of the best things you could choose because nobody can take that from you.
Good point.
Nobody can say you copying or being like non-authentic, non-original.
That's a very good point. It's
just like, it's my name. Like, how can I be copying you?
That's a very good point. And the biggest thing that we deal with, as I believe in the Black community, is that confidence. Like we very lack.
Sure.
Like, and I tell people that ask me for business advice, like the first thing is knowing you're worth it. That's the first thing you got to do. I don't care if you don't feel like you're worth what you're trying to get, it's not going to work.
You're not going to step out
right.
The house.
So that was my thing. Like, okay, the name Qjac. So okay, I'm gonna fight for it. I'm gonna go get it, or I'm gonna push it. So that's the name.
All right, we are back. I hope you guys enjoyed that brief intermission. Okay, so we back. So we got a couple of the hats.
Got a couple hats. Like I was saying, I started out HBCU brand, so we definitely got the North Carolina A&T trucker cap, got the Q on the side, the Qjac inside. So it's very good quality. It's one of the hats that sell pretty good too. North Carolina Central, same thing, trucker hat, Q on the side. Well, no Q on the side of this one, I'm sorry.
It's on the inside. Yeah.
Definitely on the inside.
It's somewhere on that.
It gotta be. And we got the royalty collection that'll be hitting 2023. Yeah. And you got the hat on right now. I'm wearing the white one right now.
Right.
And it's a man or a woman with a crown, and they're holding the Qjac logo.
And so I'm gonna start off with the collegiate like designs and stuff.
Okay.
Once you get like they approve the designs, etc. Do they allow for you to like sell them in their schools, or is it just like off the website type of stuff?
At first you can sell it, just sell it.
Gotcha.
But it's two different processes. The process of getting the license is a different process from getting in the bookstore. It's almost like most bookstores, collegiate bookstores, are Barnes and Nobles. So you have to apply to Barnes and Nobles to get. So it's a whole nother process. Or it's Follett. Follett, Follett.
Follett.
That's a bookstore company too. So it'll either be one of them two that you have to go through to get in the bookstore. Unless the school owns its own bookstore, and that's very rare. The closest school around here that does that handles their license and bookstore in-house is Livingstone.
I was about to say Salisbury.
Yeah, Livingstone. That's the only one.
So so is your clothes like in the schools and stuff like that?
No, I'm not in the school. I'm actually applying to be in the schools right now.
So boom, I'm not in the schools yet. What's like the next step? Do you hit like the other like mom and pop stores, I guess, that are selling clothes and everything?
Definitely.
Because you got towns like Clemson, for example.
Right.
They whole town is just straight Clemson. It's not just the school stores like Clemson everywhere.
Right. Well,
Walmart or something.
The first thing is definitely vending. That's the first thing. No, I'll take that back. The first thing is the website.
Okay.
That's what the first thing you want to do.
For sure.
And the second thing I would probably say vending. You definitely want to vend. You definitely want to go to where the home base.
Yeah.
You definitely want to go there.
Right.
So that's definitely a big part of it. And you also got, like you say, your mom and pop stores. You got
Walmart.
You got places like that you can try to get into too.
How you get in Walmart?
You just have to apply. Like everything is really like
applying. It's a simple application.
Yeah, like it's kind of.
They look at you and approve or not approve.
Right, because the only thing is, and I'm sure, me personally, I think it's like that in everything.
Gotcha.
Once you get your paperwork everything's easy.
Gotcha.
The problem is people that don't have paperwork try to do things like that and they don't get approved.
Move too quick.
Right. It's easy because what they're going to say is, do you have license? Were you approved to make this? Okay. What's your wholesale cost? Once you get all that right, it's just a matter of yeah, no.
And then let's jump to this design real quick. This
Okay.
design right here. How did you come up with this design, or like did someone design it for you, and then just
Okay.
because it's simple but
It's
yet
simple.
effective for sure.
Man, it's been selling good too. And I haven't really I just wanted to get it in the universe first to see how it's gonna rock.
Yeah.
But man, it's my designer, the same one that did my logo.
Yeah.
I told him because this is something new for me. This is my first like collection on the Qjac side. Because I'm used to doing the collegiate stuff. You ain't really gotta think. They'll give you what you can make and you just, put it on
Simple.
something.
Corporate.
Right. Very
Corporate.
simple.
Yeah.
So like trying something, I'm like, I want to go far left. That's what I told the designer, I said, man, I want you to just make something and we're gonna go far left with it. So he sent me like 4 to 5 things, and it was probably like a stick man by itself. And then he had the crown over there, and then he had and I was like, let's put the crown on that.
These motherfuckers.
We started pieces, and then let's have him holding the cue.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're gonna see how that works. And then it was real small. I said, man, let's thicken him up some because he's too skinny. So, like that type of, what I was wanting to go somewhere just left with it, to be honest. I didn't want nothing that, everybody doing the bear. Yeah. Everybody doing a rose. Like, I think the more special and different it is, the more it attracts people. And I see, because when I go vend, like we vended at Johnson C. Smith Homecoming, and I just had it on the side, and it attract a lot of people. Like, really? What is that? Like, I like that. Like, okay.
No, so I mean, because simple is more. At the end of the day, like people, or I mean, like you got designers. They designing these really complex designs and everything. It's cool. It's for a certain amount of people, but me personally, I'm attracted to like the simple. Simple is more cool. Get to the point.
I like it because it's like it's like you said, more is less. Like you can say a whole lot with just something so simple. Like I like it. I like it.
What was I about to say? Have you ever thought about doing like an app or something like that?
I have thought about it, and then when I looked at the cost, I was like, man, I'm not ready for that. That's like a lot of things I do because I want to do it in a certain way. Yeah, So like my quality, like my hats. It took me. People been trying to get me to do hats for the longest, but I couldn't find a person that was going to make it how I wanted the hat. I wanted it like it was in lids. Hell like I want it hard. I don't want no soft. No, I want something that's tight. Yeah, be them
flimsy hats.
Yeah, you say it all the time because them the hats that they can get. Them the most easy accessible hats. Yeah, they got the gold star right here on the top. I mean the gold circle on the top. Like I'm like, nah, I want what they got. And if I can't have that, I'm not gonna have it. So I just did a lot of research. Boom. Okay, got a good hat. Got a good quality hat. It looked good. Let's rock with it.